March, boy, Irish Fisherman.
And I'm Neil Pike, manager of Weaver Brothers in Jasper, Texas, and welcome to the very first episode of Reelin and Dealin, the poorest podcast in the nation.
But this podcast is all going to be about having fun here. There's plenty of podcasts out there that, you got these guys that are doing the data sheets and, it's taken super serious. Like, no, we're going to bring the car world into the fishing world, and we've got a lot of great ideas lined up for this. Kind of looking back on how this came into play, like, why don't you tell us how this came into be, like this idea?
Man, we were just kind of looking for something fun because everything out there these days, especially in the fishing industry, there's so much drama.
Mm-hmm.
We want something fun. And honestly, as somebody that goes to work 5 days a week, fishes on the weekends, sometimes when I get to, I'm not that great at it, but I love to donate my money to local tournaments. Okay? I even thought getting forward-facing sonar was going to make me a better angler. Nope. No, it's not true. It's not true. Don't buy into the hype. But with that being said, I wanted to kind of cross our worlds because there's a lot of people that are always interested. What goes on in a car dealership day to day? Is there 2 invoices? Is there this? Is there that? Guys, we're going to take time. We're going to debunk a lot of those throughout this whole thing that we're doing. And honestly, as a working man, I want to know what it's like on that side, a professional guy that's out there grinding 5 to 7 days a week. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's cold, it's cold. And you're out there, man, and you're hustling. You got to find people that believe in you,
Yeah.
Not just believing in you, but believing in yourself.
Yeah, there's going to be really good episodes about that, the way we're going to break this down. You guys are going to really get a behind-the-scenes thing of, like, I'm going to be just black and white with people, like a lot of the stuff you have to go through to get to that point. I mean, Neil knows this, like, because we talk about this, like off camera a lot and stuff, just the mental grind. Like, so there's going to be future episodes about, like what to look for you young anglers and aspiring anglers wanting to try to go fishing professionally, what it looks like on the sponsorship level. Like, I'm not going to tell you my numbers, but we're going to talk about how to set yourself up for success, because that is probably one of the toughest things in this world,
Man, I'll say this. One thing that I've noticed is, as fishing has grown, a lot of people like to keep their secrets tucked under their hat, under their arm, but I'll honestly say this about you. You are not like that. You took me from somebody that's catching 9 and 10 pounds to, I forgot my plaque at home to sit by your very large plaque. I won a tournament with, 55 boats in it, and I was proud. You thought I won the classic. As I was leaving, I was giving the helicopter one of these.
Yeah, and dude, that's what it's about. Really, we kind of touched on that. Those future episodes are going to be about, there's going to be a lot of that we're going to talk about. And the drama thing, like, I've said this so many times, I'm so tired of getting on the internet and seeing, all this hate, whether you want four-face sonar or you don't. I think that, honest to God, every God-loving American has kind of forgot about what fishing is about. Mm-hmm. It's not my place to go tell somebody, hey, use this or don't use this. I don't care. I think what's most important is we get back to the roots of fishing and kind of remember and go back to who took you fishing. You know what I mean? Like, whether your grandpa, your dad, like, get out there and enjoy it. It's not about going to fishing tournaments. I'll say this out loud. Yeah, that's what I do for a living, but it's about getting out there with your friends, family, your kids, and taking them fishing. Because my parents didn't take me fishing when I was a kid. I wouldn't be here and y'all wouldn't see that sitting there. Like, that's a fact. So,
and we're going to dig into this.
Yeah, we'll dig into that.
This is a huge
it was a big accomplishment, and we'll talk about that either this episode or you guys can see it on the next episode of really what was going on behind the scenes and what went through my head there. So, kind of leading off into stuff for this, this episode, guys, you kind of get a quick rundown of how we're going to do stuff and how we're going to approach this podcast. The first thing I want to talk about realistically, guiding full-time and fishing full-time professionally, you have to have good equipment. And, it's no secret, Weaver Brothers has been on with me this year. We're coming up on a year now, and I'm really excited, because first and foremost, whenever this thing became a reality, from me going fishing and guiding full-time professionally to on the trail full-time professionally and balancing guiding, I came in here and I told Neil and them, I said, look, I need a tool that's going to do the job.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell them, like, why I got the truck I got? So for everybody that knows, I have a 2024 2500 tradesman truck. It's a Dodge Ram with a 6.4, Hemi, 8-speed transmission in it, and it is gas. But he's going to explain why we did this. This is why the dealership will take care of you.
Yeah, man. Everybody's first thought when they come in and they're pulling anything, their first immediate thought is, I gotta have that diesel. I gotta have that diesel.
Mine was.
Yeah,
mine was.
I mean, and that's great. If that's what you want, I will sell you a diesel. I'm more than happy to.
Mm-hmm.
But I laid it out to Chad. Here's why you need the gas, guys. The fuel mileage on these rigs. Yeah, it's a 6.4 liter big truck. It's unreal. What are you getting towing your boat right now?
So running exactly 70 to 72, I'm getting 13.3 to 13.5 on a gas rig with, I can tell you that cab is loaded to the teeth in the back. I've got a full-blown jack. Like, if you opened up my cap, you'd be like, golly, is this, like, what is this, your house back here? I'm like, pretty much.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Those trucks are made to tow. A lot of people think, well, it's still just a gas motor. Well, yeah, it is, but it's still made to tow a lot of weight. And a bass boat, a camper, whatever you're towing, it will do the job. Okay? With that being said, obviously, traveling around the United States, you're putting a lot of miles on something. And this is one thing that I brought up to him. Number one, let's talk about the cost of a diesel motor. Right off the sticker price, you're probably talking about $10,000 difference between a 6.4 liter Hemi and a Cummins diesel. Okay? The maintenance to own these things, whenever you're traveling like he is, it's going to eat you up, man. And that's, I mean, I'm not being ugly by saying that. That's just being honest.
Yeah. No, it will. Because I think at this point, whenever I've had 3 oil changes now, getting ready to be on my 4th, just this year, my 4th oil change, tire rotation, all of that. And if you go and put that on a diesel, I would be
a diesel, man. You're looking. I'm gonna say 4 oil changes, and you got to figure fuel filters.
Yeah, fuel filter. Yeah.
You're $2,500, $3,000 deep.
Yeah, I'm not even close to that doing the oil change on this
probably
gas.
What, 550, 600, somewhere in there.
About 575 to be honest. I think that's said and done. And now I've had my tires rotate every time I come in here, and that's even throwing in them changing the cabin air filter in there. You know, so I mean, realistically, I'm going to tell you all right now, I've had a lot of people say, well, is that a diesel? No, it's a gas. So, like, why do you get a diesel? Well, look, you will probably get 14 point. You'll get an extra mile, you know.
Maybe. Maybe.
You're not going to get that much more out of it.
No.
And don't get me wrong, the torque on the diesels, would it be nice going up and down some of these hills? Like, I'm talking hills like Lake of the Ozarks hills. I didn't really notice that big of a deal. I just came back from New York, and I dropped my dad off in Missouri. So I just went through all the Ozarks up there.
Yeah.
And that truck, I'm going to tell you all right now, I put it on cruise control at 70 miles an hour, and I'd even hit the gas going up, and it wasn't shifting so hard that I was running 6,000 RPM.
Yeah, it wasn't doing this whole bouncing back and forth.
It would downshift, and it would get up there, you know, 4,500 coming up a real steep hill, but accent coming out. But that being said, you know, once I got up to the top, like, dude, it just pulled it up. Like, it does not have a problem. So that whole stigma of you got to have a diesel, I'm here to tell you first and foremost, and you guys can say different, I don't really care. I love that gas. And I was actually just talking to him yesterday about coming in and getting another one this fall. And I'm sticking with that gas. That 8-speed BMW transmission inside that truck, once it learned how I drove, now without the boat behind it, it's a little weird. It flies down it's hard to keep it under 80. I'm not going to lie to you. That truck flies down the road. But going back to like tie this in, you got to have the tools to do it.
Yeah.
Now, there is nothing wrong with having a half-ton truck. If you're going from here to Toledo Bend, or let's say you live in Kirbyville or Buna or whatever, a half-ton truck will pull it just fine.
Yeah.
We're talking about what I needed to get the job done with what I'm doing. Correct. As much as I'm driving. So, you know, what kind of trucks do you guys have in here right now, Neil, that, you know, would be great for something like this?
Oh, man. I mean, really, any half-ton truck will do it with that new Hurricane Inline 6.
Oh, yeah, they did switch to that. That's right.
I mean, it's now the Hemi is coming back.
I think that's coming back by popular demand.
Yeah, it's coming back. I pull with the Hemi. I love it. You know, I pull mine, I'm not going to say all over Texas, but a lot over Texas. I mean, I like to go visit different lakes and donate money there as well as my local fishery. So, but anyways, with that being said, man, my whole point to this is, anybody comes in, angler, not angler, I will sell you what you want, but if it's somebody like this that their life depends on it because they're supporting a family, doing this for a living, every dollar counts, man.
No, I mean, it really
room
does.
and board will eat you up.
It does.
Fuel will eat you up. So you got to account for every little dollar when you're doing this. And
we will have an episode on that. We're going to have an episode on that. I'm going to tell you guys like how to budget this stuff. I'm telling you, we'll have an episode on that. What he's saying is true.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, like tying it all in, your equipment's really important.
Right.
You know, and I'm going to tell you, other than your boat, your truck choice is the most important thing that you're going to have towing, because when you're all the way out there in the middle of nowhere, you want a reliable vehicle that's going to get you there and back and not have problems. And I've been thoroughly impressed. Like, I'm serious. Like, I wouldn't be asking to get into another one this fall if I wasn't impressed with that ride.
I mean, why would you want to spend, $60,000 with me if it's not doing what you need? Nobody wants to buy something that's going to underperform.
No. And I'm telling you, that 8-speed transmission, that thing, it's nuts, dude. Because my dad said when we were coming back from New York, he's like, "What RPM you running?" I was like, "Dude, I'm running under $2,000 right now." And he said, "You're kidding me." And I was like, "No." And I was running 72, just right down the road.
See?
Like, it was nothing. So the only thing that I'll say is, like, typically, with the gas, I don't have to pull up. Not typically, I don't have to. I don't have to pull up. I don't have to worry about getting deaf. I don't have to worry about, going in there if something's not working, or getting the jugs to put them at the gas stations and they don't have it at the fuel pumps, right? Traveling all over the United States. I pull up, I've got the Love app on my phone, right? And you get 10 cents off if nobody knows that. If you download the Love's app, when you're driving, you get 10 cents off fuel. And I'm telling you right now, that sounds stupid, but that's going to go right back into what Neil was saying about saving pennies.
By the way, Love's does not sponsor this pool.
No, they do not. But I'm telling you that you go download that Love's app. So when you're traveling across the place with your Ram, you can pull up and get 10 cents off gas. Because I'm here to tell you, in New York, it was not cheap.
Dude, so how much was fuel in New York?
I spent $900 in just boat fuel.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so we'll talk about New York coming up. Ooh. So let's go ahead and dive in.
I'm sweaty.
Yeah, dude, it sucks. Like, so y'all can laugh at 10 cents off of the Love's app. I promise you, made a difference.
I'm in 5 cents at that point.
Yeah. So, let's kind of dive into this episode. Is going to be kind of what it's like fishing in the NPFL. There's so many different favorite flavor of popsicles out there that you can fish, whether you're an avid angler here at Texas Fishing Champs, Texas Team Trail, or Outlaw Outdoors, or, some of the smaller ones we have around here. I mean, there's a tournament every weekend on radio.
Every weekend.
So, or, you're fishing the Bassmaster Elite Series, or the Opens, or MLF Invitationals. I mean, there's so many tournaments out there. And
the industry's huge, man. I mean, it is really blown up.
It's blown up, and a lot. This has been asked of me a lot. Why did you go to the NPFL over doing the Bass Opens or taking the invitational invite you got? And I think it came down to backbone and care for the anglers. I've said this so many times. This is just an example, and we'll keep diving into this. My very first event at Santee Cooper. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows who Chad Marler is. Nobody cares who Chad Marler is, okay? And there's a lot of people watching this that probably are going to say, "Oh, I still don't care who you are." And that's great. I just not going to hurt my feelings. I don't really care. But with that being said, I pulled up at Santee Cooper, Neil, and he knows this because I told him after day one, I was like, "Dude," he's asking me how fishing was, and I was like, "Dude, they got in my truck and they backed my boat down. They bumped me off. They went and parked my truck for me. And then they have guards on, the parking lot while we're out there fishing." I have never experienced something like that. I pulled up that morning and they're like, "Hey, Chad, what's up, dude?" And I'm like, "Hey, guys, what's going on?" They're like, "Hey, you good to go?" "Yep." Whip around, bump me off. They said, "I'll put the keys in your gas tank. We'll see you later."
That's awesome.
I didn't have to worry about anything.
That's unreal.
I just had to go out there, put my poles down, and start thinking about, hopefully catching bigs, And so that was one reason I'd heard that the NPFL, how they treated their anglers. So that was a big choice for me leading into it. And then probably the biggest one everybody just is waiting for right now is did my choice weigh on forward-facing sonar? No, because I'm going to tell y'all something. Whenever I was going through the process, which I'm going to tell you, everybody says it's pay to play. It was not easy getting into it.
Dude, I'm going to stop you right there.
It was not.
That's one thing that has drove me crazy about the whole thing around the NPFLs. You hear a lot of hate of, well, these guys are paying to play. If I had the money, I could. And you're right. If you had the money, sack up and go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go hustle and go grind and go put your name in the hat. Yeah. And maybe you'll win one.
Yep.
But that's the thing, dude. Everybody gave it so much hate because, oh, these guys are paying to play. And I mean, I'm sorry, are the Opens free?
Well, I think I look at this like going back to it, like if you really the NPFL is mimicking, and I'm not saying they're taking apart from the FLW.
Right.
That's how FLW started, which we know now is MLF. That's exactly how the FLW was. And if you go read the mission statement from the NPFL and what they're wanting to be about, you're not going to find a trail that says that. Okay. So for me, that interview process that you have to go through, you have to submit a resume in short written form. Okay. And you have to explain and be able to express yourself on why you're wanting to be a part of what the NPFL does and what you're going to bring to the table for them.
That's
because I'm telling you all, the process was not easy. They've said it while I was on stage, when I was on live, like, hey, you went through this process. It was rigorous, and I got several callbacks asking more questions like, hey, this or this. And I think a big part of it is sure, you can go put your money down, but then again, it comes into the same form. Like I'm telling you all, every one of those guys in the NPFL, there are some, I'm not saying anything bad about anybody that are there. Mm-hmm. They will take your money in a heartbeat.
That's right.
If you stumble, I don't even care about the elite guys as part of it.
No, there's
some studs in the NPFL, and I see it all the time, day in, day out,
Well, I mean, dude, just to briefly touch on it, you talk about the interview process, and it's rigorous. We're vetting people to see, do we want them to be a part of our organization?
Yes.
It's no different if somebody comes in wanting to interview for a job.
No, it's not.
I mean, do they 1099 you on that money, or is it tax free?
It's tax. Believe me.
So
I
just send you a 1099.
Oh yeah,
they're your employer.
Oh, they're my employer.
So
right.
I mean, that's the thing, dude. I mean, yeah, it's everybody thinks, oh, just drop your name in the hat.
I get my money either that day or a day later. I'll say that league, like you'll get your money within 24 hours.
That's awesome, because there was, dude. I'm just telling you, and it's not just because of you. I'll be honest. Before you, I kind of dabbled in it, didn't really watch it a lot, And once you were like, hey, dude, this organization is really coming together. I want to be a part of it. And I was like, man, I know this guy. If he's interested, I'm kind of intrigued by it because I will tell you, I've known this guy for a couple of years now. He's not going to do anything halfway, and he's not going to participate in something that's halfway. So when he says he wants to do something that's 110% in, and he's giving it his all, and he's not going to go be with somebody that's going to give him 50%.
No, you can't do that.
I mean, dude.
Especially in today's industry.
They have blown me away from the way their media is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm even a fan of their commentary.
Yeah, their commentary, like a lot of people were knocking after Santee Cooper, like, hey, the live, this, and I'm going to tell you all.
He was going in and out. I mean, his first event.
And I'm going to tell you all right now, what you all didn't see behind the scenes, and I can tell you all right now, Brad Fuller, the MPFL president, personally made a video to every angler that he sent out on a page that we're all part of. And he was sincerely, truly apologizing for failing us as anglers, failing our families, failing our sponsors for the viewership. Because for us on that national stage, sponsors are getting the recognition. They see it, right? So that was another big reason that I'll tie into right now. It's what Neil just said, when I get involved in something, I'm going all in.
Yep.
Now, that's burned me before, but whenever I saw the MPFL doing what they're doing, they're investing all in you. They're giving it 110%.
Yep,
so I felt that same energy that I was giving to them. It's coming back. And if I pick up the phone right now and called, somebody get on the phone with me and take care of whatever I have. Like that. And so, going back to what I was talking about earlier, whenever I started the interview process, forward-facing sonar was going to be allowed. Now, when Neil asked me this, when they took away, he said, are you still going to do it? And I said, absolutely. And to me, I really don't care as an angler if I have it or if I don't have it. There's so much hate out there for it. There's so many people for it. I just don't really care. I think we need to get back to fishing. How do you want to fish? How do you want to fish? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I want to throw a wacky worm in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're his dad, you want to throw a spinnerbait in 50 foot of water.
Accidentally catch fish on forward-facing sonar that he's never used before.
Yeah, I mean, so, looking at it from a standpoint, the MPFL took a business standpoint too. With so much controversy out there with, the other organizations allowing it or doing a half and half schedule, what we're starting to see is the trend is starting to be, at least at the professional levels, the audience, and I'm not even going to name names, but a lot of the anglers just don't want to see it.
Well, and I think what you're also seeing is these industries are starting to listen to the fans.
Yes.
You know, compared to before, they were probably listening to this right here.
And that's the truth. That's a big part of it.
So you ain't got no viewers.
Yep.
At the end of the day, those sponsors start going.
Yeah, real quick. And it don't matter who's in the industry saying, hey, we're going to give you this much more to do this. That's the truth. That's how it really works, you know. And we're not bashing anybody. That's a business. That's how that works, you know.
Scratch my back, I scratch your back.
And that's exactly how that works. So when the NPFL made that choice to go away from forward-facing sonar, and here we are rolling a Sandy Cooper, the first event, I can tell you all that I seen the numbers that was sent to us. It was pretty astronomical.
Yeah, and listen, I ain't gonna lie. Whenever, because I've always, you know, you taught me how to use forward-facing sonar.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they were taking it away, I was like, man, what's this guy gonna do? I was kind of nervous for you because me and you have never really went out there and just been like, you know what, we're fixing to go grind. Like we just always went and looked for big fish.
Yeah,
you know,
you got a tool for
it, and that's what you use it for. That's what it's made for. So when they took it away, I was like, what's going to happen? Like, I cannot wait to see how it's going to play out. I know you was nervous, but let me tell you, everybody at Weaver Brothers is nervous too. If you come in and you drop how much on day one?
I had 21 and some change day one.
I mean, dude.
Straight like Rayburn style fishing. I mean, I had a bladed jig on. You know, and really, you know, truthfully, my 360, you know, I still allowed to have a 360. You don't see it live. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you where it speeds up. If you give me a forward-facing sonar, when I go out there to practice, I'm going to tell you how big the fish are, what they're doing, and how they're reacting to things and how they're setting up on structure. Okay, a lot of people, and I teach this on guided trips a lot, forward-facing sonar, or live sonar like everybody likes to call it now, it's not dangerous for scoping them. What's dangerous about it is I know how they're going to act if I throw this at them, and if I get this reaction or they do this or this and they are on this, like tight to cover or in a cover, I just got all the information I needed to know without even throwing a bait.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yep.
So if you take it away, what happens is...
it is a great tool.
It's a great tool.
It's a great tool.
And I mean, I'm going to tell you, if I had it would speed my practice up.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
3
you
days...
also might not have fished.
No, I wouldn't have fished the same way.
No, you probably would have went deeper.
I would. I'm going to tell you all right now, I would have been out there chasing some bigger fish after I got something together, and that can hurt you.
Yep.
So if you go up there, like I was throwing a bladed jig in the grass, and I was targeting deeper pockets, utilizing my topographical mapping, and then side imaging and finding those isolated patches in the drains like we do here in Texas, I started marking them. Then you would go back and you have to fish them. Well, if you go through an area, like a lot of misunderstanding practicing is like, look, if you don't have anything to see, you got to hook some to see what's down there. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm not saying go beat up on them on day 3, but I'm talking like you got to hook some.
Right.
And you got to see what they want. And that one little area, you know, like I think 3 or 4 casts up there, I caught an 8-pounder real quick. And then I went down the way and I caught a 7.5. And I was just like, you know, and my dad's allowed to be out there with me, and that's so tough for my dad because he can't say anything, he can't suggest anything. He just gets to be out there with me, you know.
Dude, that's another thing. The rules as far as we're gonna have to cover that.
Yeah, we'll cover that in a separate one. We'll talk about that. People got a lot of questions about that stuff.
It's crazy.
It is, and you know, so you know, with forward-facing sonar being out of the equation, I think what people like is they like watching the anglers be out there, and you get to see guys adjust on the fly.
They're adjusting to the conditions.
Yes.
Wind blown bank.
Yeah.
I mean, the tip. I mean, everything that probably your grandpa or your dad taught you is now coming back into play.
Yep.
And I'm going to be honest with you. It is impressive to watch people go out and drop 25 pounds with no forward-facing sonar.
Dude,
and I don't care if you're there at the time of the spawn, not the time of the spawn. Take all that out. Oh, these pros visit lakes whenever the right conditions. Well, yeah, they want to put on a show for you. So
it is part of business. But I'm here to tell you, if you look at the weights this year for the NPFL without forward-facing sonar,
they're astronomical.
Nothing changed. I mean, you know, like day 2, I had almost 27 pounds, I think, you know, and it jumped me up to 9th. But there were 30-pound sacks rolling in day 1, 32-pound sacks. Day 3, there was 30-pound sacks.
Okay, now let's talk about this. A 3-day tournament.
Yeah.
Everybody fishes all 3 days.
Yes.
You hammer down day 1, day 2. I talked to you the night of day 2, and you tell me what?
So, you know, day 2, and this is where it comes into play with no forward-facing sonar. We had a cold front coming in day 2, and I knew coming in on really day 2, and I told Luke Duncan and these guys that, and there's another well-known angler that was in the same area as me, and that's Andrew Upshaw. Talk about a dude that knows how to fish, and in itself. So day 2, I told them, I said, hey, tomorrow's going to be up in the air. And they're like, why? I'm like, we have a really wicked cold front coming through. And for anybody that understands grass fishing, when you get a real bad cold front, those Florida string bass get really tight to that grass and they really don't want to do much.
Yep.
So your better option is to go target the cypress trees that were on that lake, which ended up being the winning thing.
Jason Christie.
Yeah, Jason Christie did it. Now, a lot of people were asking, well, why didn't you go down there, Chad? Look, I'd never been to that lake. I had 3 days to figure that out on that lake. And Sandy Cooper can be a very dangerous place to run on that lake. So, I picked an area and I stuck to my area. You could either spend a lot of time running on that lake or you can spend more time keeping your bait in the water at that place.
You got to cover water. When you don't have forward-facing sonar, you have to cover
I had
water.
7 spots I rotated for 3 days. And every time I'd come back to 4 of those spots, I'd end up calling, or I would catch stuff that wasn't helping me. You know what I mean? So without the forward-facing sonar, you got to cover water. I mean, you got to trust the process too.
Yeah.
You can't get spun out. Like we'll talk about other events. We'll dive into the Eufaula one. I mean, those were some very adverse conditions that we were fishing.
I mean, this here, where'd you even get this from? Did you pick this up at Target?
I got it from Temu. That's where it came from.
I figured it'd be a lot bigger than this. This thing is huge, by the way.
Yeah,
if anybody's never held one of these, you better be ready.
Yeah, I think it's 33 pounds.
Yeah,
so.
I mean that's hefty. The ducks did not come with that.
The ducks did.
Brought to you by Weaver Brothers.
Yep. But guys, what we really wanted to talk about, kind of wrapping things up, because we're going to keep these kind of short and sweet. We got about 10 more minutes in general that we want to keep these to, but talking about why I chose the NPFL, I'm going to sum it up real quick. It's the care for the anglers.
Yep.
They have a mission statement that supports my moral values and integrity that I can stick with moving forward. And you know what? I'm going to say it. 5 years ago, when they had some financial problems going on, when you've got a guy that steps up and says, hey, I accept responsibility. We can't have the championship because we had sponsors pull out on us. And then they turn around, they rebound, and they're stronger than ever and still growing. That's something I want to be a part of, because there's a lot of people that can't accept responsibility for their actions.
Well, dude, he just obviously
he owned it.
His military background.
Yes.
The dude's resilient.
Oh yeah.
That's what y'all are trained to be.
Yeah.
And and I'm right there with you. I would rather see you wear that Weaver Brothers logo on the NPFL trail than I had anywhere else, no matter what anybody says about the trail. I don't care. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It's not going to bother me one bit. But like I said, we're drama free here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say this. You see a lot of big names in the industry making switches. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's because they can't use forward-facing sonar. There's so much more to it than just forward-facing sonar.
My favorite one is, what people like, oh, well, they're just taking other guys' money. Well, that's funny because
yeah, I'm telling y'all, if you go really look at the results, we were talking about this.
There's a couple of those guys, man, that,
they're there all the time.
They're there all the time.
Yeah.
They're just so consistent.
I mean, I know, I've come to know them now, they're right there. And I'm going to tell you what's impressive about it is that Upshaw made kind of a post about this. So when we were all at Eufaula, and we'll like I said, we'll dive in this. I'm just going to tell you all what it's like behind the scenes a little bit. And this goes into why I chose the NPFL. Man, when you're new, you're a rookie in the season. A lot of people don't want to say too much to you. Yep. And, you kind of keep to yourself. At least I keep to myself. And if you want to talk to me, come sit down, let's talk, But, man, at Eufaula, we're getting several events in. We're our 4th event in. We were under that awning, and everybody, I don't care if you were a Bassmaster Elite Series guy, an MLF guy, or or a natural NPFL news, like I like to say. We were all, I don't know, Neil, if it ties into what you said earlier about, the fishing industry's just blown up so much.
It's huge. I think there's more people doing it than ever.
I would agree.
I would credit LiveScope for that.
I would say, I think
that's
a very true statement.
There is, and nothing against it. There's a lot of young anglers coming out of high school that Oh my God.
Well,
they can read it like a book.
Yeah, you can even tie it into this. I think fishing, I'm not saying that you really can't compare names to like, I guess the best way to put this, you can't compare Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr. or Sosa or McGuire. You can't do that. But in my opinion, fishing is the most competitive that it has ever been right now in the last 2 or 3 years. Everybody wants peace.
Everybody wants to compete. Nobody wants to just go fun fishing. Everybody wants to fish a tournament. That's why there's 3,000 tournaments a month on Rayburn.
And I'll tell you this.
And I'm fishing every one of them.
99% of my customers, let's be real, probably 89 to 90% of them are avid tournament anglers.
And they're contacting you to learn how to read grass.
Yeah, read grass,
better,
all of it. And I'll tell you the best trips I have is guys that show up and they're like, hey, yes, I know how to do this stuff, but I have a blank slate today. I want to start from scratch, and I want you to build off this. And then when we get done, they're like, I never thought about that.
Well, sometimes it's just a little nugget.
It's a nugget that helps you.
It's just a little nugget that just sets the light off.
It really does. I mean, I say this a lot. Usually when you catch a fish, okay, your first one, got it. Your second one, it's not a fluke. You know what I mean? Like they're doing that for a reason, but a lot of these anglers that I see now, they're like, hey, Chad, look, I like to fun fish, but how do I get better at competing?
Yeah.
How am I doing this? And a lot of it, and we'll dive into this in future episodes, it has a lot to do with the practice. I mean, I get 3 days to practice. I don't have this week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm down here for a month doing nothing but fishing every day. You get 3 days to figure it out. And you have off limits. Which we'll dive into that whole rule of off limit stuff, in future episodes. We've got all these episodes we're going to do, but I think that a lot of these anglers now, with the big change in all these rules, they don't have the amount of time to get out there as they want, or they're working Monday through Friday and they show up on Saturday and get 1 day of practice.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I joke about fishing tournaments. I haven't fished one in a while. I just kind of got burnt out, tired of donating money, and I mean. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. Outlaw Outdoors, hat tip to you. I think that is very refreshing what y'all did. I'm a fan of it. I will be fishing that trail next year.
I think it's a big change for, a lot of things.
Well, I think people got tired of donating their money.
I mean, you're going to have, at the local levels on any lake, you're going to have your top dudes that are always going to do well.
Always going to do well.
But at the same time, I'm just going to say if you take forward-facing sonar away, that changes the way people approach stuff. Because now, I'll tell you, I'll say it. I don't care what lake you're on. Mm-hmm. If you're up there on a frog bite in the morning and it ain't popping, I can take you out there and we'll go ping stuff and go throw stuff on forward-facing sonar, and you're going to at least be able to turn around and get 14 to 17 pounds on a back thing. It's a safety net.
It is.
If you take the safety net away, now you're like, uh-oh. I'm not getting bit in the morning. What do I need to do?
Well, you know what I mean? Adapt.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt. And I think it changes the way you approach stuff too.
Oh, 1,000%.
I mean, you're not just going to roll there and be like, well, if I don't get bit, I'll just go ping a minnow out there.
Don't work that
way.
Minnow.
Go get that minnow. I'll ping a minnow.
Drag my dice.
Yeah. Neil's lost some big fish on a minnow because in the beginning, let me tell you all a quick story, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up. Okay. Like Neil said, he got forward-facing sonar, we got set up and stuff, and we're out there and we're going over stuff. And I said, hey, we're going to go do this and this, this, and this. His biggest problem was, I'm like, this is a stick 5 medium light rod. Do not set the hook like it's a frog. So I'm back there shooting like a promo for Weaver Brothers, and all I feel is the boat rock. And I turn around, and he's got this medium light rod, and I'm telling you, it's about bent over and touches it. And the fish come up, and it was a freak.
It was huge.
It was definitely over 10 for sure, probably pushing 11 or 12. And he's like, I got it! I did it! He's pulling. I'm like, stop pulling! Like, let the drag run. Comes flying out, fish does a little jump, and goes back in the water. And I was like, okay, now that you've learned how to target them on the scope, let's talk about the equipment, so.
Yeah. I had to learn that not everything's 7'11". And if it is, it don't mean that it's thick.
That's right.
Listen, I'm a big man. I like me a 7'11" with a 3/4 ounce weight.
Oh yeah.
Doing it dirty style. I mean.
Yeah, hand-to-hand combat.
I love it, man. That's what I live for.
Yeah.
But Thanks for replaying that in my head. My heart's officially broken. One thing, before we close, one thing I want to ask you. You talked about the MPFL and why you chose them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is where we're going to tie this back in. I want to set the scene. When Chad bought his truck and his wife's car, they bought 2 cars.
Yeah, we bought 2 the same day.
We were not partnered.
No,
it was just I gave him a great deal, and he trusts me. I trust him, and
that's a very true story. I came in and was like, hey, I need something to pull my truck for guiding, and at that time I didn't know what I was going to fish yet.
Well, and the thing is you just everybody probably thinks that you're sitting here because you got Weaver Brothers on your truck now and on your jersey. No, it has nothing to do with that, man. Because he came in and he purchased from us, which this is their 3rd vehicle.
Yes, my 3rd. And we're getting ready to get a 4th for my daughter here soon.
So he was going to do business here regardless. We didn't even know that this was going to be a thing. But with that being said, I want you to tell me why you chose Weaver Brothers.
So when I got out of the military in 2018 and we settled here in Jasper, my wife had really been and she's still my backbone, but she's like, yeah, if you want this, go get it. I had a ton of military gear, like stuff I didn't need, but I wanted. So I said, hey, I still have my 2012, Dodge Ram, like 1500 I had. It was paid off, and my wife had her car, and I'm like, listen, let's go get something you want.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? And she was kind of like, well, I kind of wanted to do like a Jeep Wrangler, because she likes to go to the beach and stuff and take the top off, enjoy the ride. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm big on shopping local. And I came up here to Weaver Brothers, and at the time, Glenn was here.
Yeah.
Glenn pulled us in and said, hey, what are y'all looking at? And my wife's so humble that she was like, no, don't spend that money on me on that Jeep. Don't spend that money, Chad. Don't do that. And she was trying to get something else. And I told Glenn, I said, hey, you draw the paper up on that Jeep, and I'm going to put money down on it right now. When she comes back, we're going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why I keep coming back. When I come into here and I bought the vehicles before this all occurred, it is black and white. And then at the same time, the computer screen's facing me, so I can see on there exactly what rebates I'm getting.
Yep.
And I can see them move the numbers in real time to give me the best deal and take, discount and apply it over here. And like, hey, we can't get quite this discount, but I tell you what, do you like Ramtech? Have you ever seen Ramtech? And then they give back to you. And that's why I keep coming back up here, and not only that, but look, I'm going to be very honest. My wife had some issues going on with her little Jeep. This dealership would not let us take that Jeep until it was fixed.
Yeah.
Like, there was none of this, hey, go get in it, we can't replicate the problem. No, hey, we're going to get this figured out, and you're not leaving here. So that ties into everything they say, because when you come into Weaver Brothers, you're not just a customer, you're family for life.
And that's true, man. I'm going to tell you, the guy that owns this dealership, he's in here every day working just like everybody else.
I barely get a chance to talk to him because he's truly running all over.
He is working. He's from front to back, man.
Yep.
And if he's sitting in that office, you can walk in there, you can shake his hand, talk to him. He'll come out, thank you for your business. This is a family-oriented place. I came from bigger dealerships, and I'm going to tell you, man, the atmosphere right here, I will always be here because of that.
It's almost like what I said, choosing the MPFL. It's the family orientation.
I get to coach my kids' baseball team. How many car dealers do you know get to coach their baseball team?
No, and just kind of summing it up, guys, shop local. I've heard so many people say, well, this is why I don't shop local, because of bad experiences, okay? Yeah. But I'm going to personally put my name on this dealership. You're not going to have a bad experience here, because I was buying cars here before it ever became a thing, and that thing happened. I've been buying cars here, and we're getting ready to buy another one for my daughter. So, guys, come into Jasper here in, little Jasper, Texas, on the south side of Sam Rayburn, and give this dealership a chance to get you a deal. And tell them I sent you in here, and I promise you these guys will take care of you. Whether you see Neil, you see Cole, or you see Glenn, and I'm telling you right now, if all those 3 people are busy, the head man's going to come out of his office, and he's going to take care of you. I've seen it a bunch of times. So, I just want to say, hey, I'm excited to keep doing these little podcasts. I have a lot of fun talking about this evening.
I'm fired up.
Yeah, and it's, guys, drop a like. Or I'm gonna put it on my Facebook page, on Weaver Brothers Facebook page. I'll put it on my YouTube page also. So you know, if you guys are in the area, come by. A lot of the times, believe it or not, if I'm not, you know, with other sponsors or something, I'm up here at the dealership. So if you want to come by and talk fishing, come up here and swing by. Look at some vehicles and we'll talk fishing with you, you know, and get y'all taken care of.
Yeah, man, and drop some comments. Anything you want to know about the car business, this is an open book right here.
Yeah, ask
I
it.
don't care what it is. Ask it. I will answer it, and it's going to be honest.
Yep.
So, guys, we thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
45 minutes of y'all's time. Y'all are great. And as always, I'm Dealin.
And I'm Reelin.
We'll catch you guys next time.